Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Town Council meeting for the Town of Vegreville. It is March the 23rd. I call this meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Excuse me. I'd be looking for a motion to adopt the agenda. Councillor Curtis makes the motion. Is there any additions or deletions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Carried. Next up, I'll take a motion to adopt the minutes of our last regular meeting. Councillor Jagalik makes the motion. She made the meeting too, which is nice. Is there any errors or omissions within the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor? Carried. So let's go to our correspondence. We'll start up with flag policy concerns.
Thank you. So I have a letter here. Get me to the right page. I apologize. Should have been more on this. We have a letter here addressed to Sandra, Leslie, and members of council. I'm writing as a concerned resident and taxpayer to provide input on the upcoming discussion and potential vote regarding the town's flag policy. I understand that feedback submitted today may not be ready publicly until the next legislative meeting, but I hope it can be considered as correspondence for the upcoming council meeting, or at least distributed to council members in advance so the vote so they have time to reflect on it. My primary concern is ensuring we make responsible, forward-looking decision about how taxpayer dollars are spent on flagpole maintenance, flag purchases, replacements, installation labor, and related administrative time. As the current policy stands, the town could face a growing number of requests in the coming years from not-for-profits, community groups, or others, each highlighting the important causes to them. Without clear limits, council may be placed in the difficult position of having to approve or deny requests on a case-by-case basis, leading to inconsistent decisions, increased costs, and potential obligations that strain municipal resources. To address this practically and equitably, I respectfully urge council to adopt a straightforward 3-flag policy for all town-owned flagpoles, limiting displays exclusively to the national flag of Canada, the flag of Alberta, and the flag of the town of Vegreville. The Government of Alberta's own flag guidelines, issued through Alberta Protocol Office, provide the clear provincial framework for this position. Those guidelines state that at all Government of Alberta locations, the only 2 flags flown as a matter of standard practice are the national flag of Canada and the flag of Alberta. Any additional flags or banners are restricted to a single designated courtesy pole and may be displayed only for specific approved purposes, such as honoring visiting heads of state or officially recognized non-political events. The Protocol Office explicitly emphasizes that such displays must remain non-commercial, non-religious, and non-political in nature, and that the entire system is designed to ensure public confidence in the essential non-partisan nature of official display of flags. Many Alberta municipalities follow this provincial framework by adopting similar 3-flag standards, Canada, Alberta, and their own municipal flag, to maintain neutrality, simplify administration, and control costs while ensuring equal representation for all residents under shared civic symbols. The goal here is not to penalize or exclude any group. It is to protect taxpayers by drawing a clear, defensible line now, consistent with provincial best practices. As defined by 3-flag policy, they would promote fiscal responsibility, controlling foreseeable expenses on flags, poles, and upkeep, logistical practicality, simplifying administration and reducing staff time on reviews and approvals, and equal representation, ensuring public flagpoles remain the unifying symbols of our shared community, country, and province rather than selective spotlights. I believe this balanced approach would serve Vegreville well into the future, demonstrate prudent stewardship of public resources, and bring our town in line with established Alberta Protocol standards. If this letter can be addressed as correspondence for the next council meeting so it may be read aloud, I would greatly appreciate it. If timing does not allow, please forward to all councillors for their consideration before the vote. I'm happy to provide further clarification or attend a meeting if helpful. Thank you for your dedicated service to our town and for carefully weighing these important matters. Your decisions directly impact how our tax dollars are managed, and I trust the council will prioritize practicality, fairness, fiscal accountability, and alignment with provincial guidelines. Sincerely, Nadia Ruda, a Vegreville resident and taxpayer.
Okay. Take a motion to receive and file this letter. Councillor Lemko makes the motion. Any comments on the letter? Well, I can honestly, oh, Counselor Riddick, go ahead.
I was just wondering if Director Saskew could please explain for the public what our top drivers on our budget are?
Absolutely. So the top drivers on our budget are related to like infrastructure, policing. This is really, you're putting me on the spot here. Infrastructure, policing are the big ones. Utility services, those are the large portions of it. We've had prior budget infographics that had like a pie chart showing where each part was, but like the large contributors are those items. In relation to purchasing or maintaining flags, that would be under probably our facilities budget, which is one of our middle budgets, like for amount spent in relation to tax dollars collected. I could get further figures on that if asked.
Well, I think Councilor Riddick is heading with this. When we look at, I've seen a lot of people talk about the way we spend money and how we could be saving money. This is way down on the list on what it would cost the town. We already have the flag poles, and running a flag up and down a pole is really, I mean, for this approach is different than we've seen somebody talking about flags on the costing and saving the municipality money. So, is that the point you were trying to drive home, Councilor Riddick?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's exactly my question, is that there are things that are extremely cost prohibitive. This isn't one of them.
Yeah, okay. Any other comments? Go ahead, Councilor Rajak.
Thank you, Your Worship. I did a little bit of research regarding different cities of our province to see how many flagpoles they display. And I want to reference to the writer's letter here on page 2. Any additional flags or banners are restricted to a single designated courtesy pole and may be displayed. So I'm not sure if that's accurate information or not. She's referencing that
The legislatures.
in addition to the 3, then there's only 1 courtesy pole allowed. The City of Edmonton does have 4 flagpoles. They have the federal, provincial, municipal, and Treaty 6 flagpoles. City of Calgary have 5. They have federal, provincial, the Union Jack, City of Calgary, and Treaty 7. The City of Lethbridge displays 6 flagpoles. They have 3 upper and 3 lower. Their 3 upper are the federal, provincial, and municipal, and their 3 lower are the Truth and Reconciliation, the Blackfoot Treaty 7, and then they have 1 courtesy flagpole. So there's a lot of varying degrees as to what different municipalities choose to do, and I don't think we are restricted to 1 single courtesy pole. So we'd have to do a lot more investigating in that. But it seems that quite a few municipalities are displaying more than the 3 federal, provincial, municipal.
So again, what we're talking about here is on each end of town, the east and west, we have 4 poles. And downtown here at our location, we have 3. So just so for clarity, there is 3 at the post office as well. And then the RCMP take care of their own, am I correct? So, 1 Canadian flag. Okay, so what we're talking about here is the flagpoles that are on each end of town, and they're the only ones that have 4 poles. Okay. Is there any other comments on this letter? Okay, thank you. All those in favor to receive and file? Carried. Next piece of correspondence.
Thank you. I have here another letter. Dear Mayor McPhee and members of council, on March 17th, I streamed the town council's legislative meeting review of draft GOV 1003 flag protocol policy. The memorandum provided to council was focused on the consideration of the location of the community flagpoles and that they may not be flown at half-mast during the winter months due to reduced access. I understand that Councillor Jagalik would like to review the policy as a whole to only allow for raising of the federal, provincial, and municipal flags on the town's flagpoles. When bringing forward a recommendation presented as mirroring another municipality's revision, it's important to first have full understanding what the revision entails. Councillor Jagalik stated that Mayor Farkas in Calgary and his council revised their policy just to include those three, which sends the message that the community is for everyone. I would like to clarify that in December 2025, Calgary City Council narrowly passed a motion to ban foreign national flags from being raised on the main flagpoles at City Hall. Mayor Farkas' actual statement regarding the revision was, "I was not elected to weigh in on international conflicts, but as mayor, it's my job to show up for every single Calgarian, for every single community. So I don't support the rising of international flags, but it's very clear that flags like Sage Seat Treaty 7 or Métis Nation or Pride, these all are about celebrating local Calgarians." I believe that the key detail missed during Tuesday's meeting was the acknowledgement that the town of Vegreville's continued raising of the Ukrainian National Pride. The Ukrainian National Pride, Treaty 7, and Métis flags are about celebrating local Vegrevillians. Yours truly, Cameron Veldkamp.
Okay, thank you. Take a motion to receive and file that letter. Okay, Councillor Wawa makes the motion. Any comments? Go ahead, Councillor Curtis.
Thank you very much. Just one thing I want to clarify in this letter, and just to make sure I have it right as well. When it comes to half-masting, we only half-mast at the 3 locations in section 2.3. Town admin building, post office, and emergency services.
So when possible, we actually half-mast at all of our locations, so that includes the community flagpole locations. One of the items brought up from the original administrative memo was acknowledging that sometimes during the winter months it is difficult to half-mast at those community flagpole locations. However, that is our current practice, is that we still do it.
Weather permitting.
Weather permitting.
Yes.
So I don't know if that needs to be added to 2.3 or not, just because it sounds like the only applicable locations are these 3.
The only place that we could fly an extra flag is on each end of town.
No, but we're talking about half-masting, right? So in the policy, which is coming up soon,
Okay, so, but this, we're focusing on this letter right now.
I'm just trying to say that in the letter, it talks about half-masting the community flagpoles, so that's why I was just double-checking, because it's not in that section.
On Cameron's letter, it says about half-masking?
Just wanted to clarify.
Oh, yeah, okay, but that really wasn't what he was driving home. Okay, any other comments? Councillor Jagalik.
Thank you very much. As always, I greatly respect and admire anyone who engages with council on any important issues, so thank you to both constituents that wrote in. Also, thank you to Mr. Veldkamp, who did provide further context to the comments that I made at the last legislative committee meeting. I guess I will say that the interesting thing is that I don't actually understand the difference between the city of Calgary choosing to not fly any international flag with the intent to ensure that everyone feels represented. I don't understand what the difference would be between any other community flag. So that's all I can say about that. I'm not sure, Mayor McPhee, are we going to discuss this further before we vote, or is this my opportunity?
Well,
I think this comes up, the policy we look at again later in the agenda, correct? Okay.
well, and again, I mean, the problem here is, it's really not what we're seeing here, and it comes down to, it's the pride flag is more than anything else. I mean, we haven't, if we want to talk about this right now, we definitely can, before we get to the next. I mean, the other one was more about the half-masking. The flag policy is what was brought to us, but in there right now, it says that the CAO and the MIN make the decisions on what flags they would fly.
If it's been previously approved by council in the last 5 years.
That's one of the triggers, yes. So, if you want to discuss this right now, you guys want to do this in this, or you want to get to the flag policy itself?
Yeah.
Oh, Councillor Rudick.
Sorry, I don't want to be, well, I think this is probably a point of order. This wouldn't be the time to discuss it, that we would accept this letter and then move on to the next portion.
Okay, then we can definitely do that. Is there any other comments regarding Mr. Velkamp's letter? Okay, all those in favor? And I would again like to thank Nadine and Cameron for supplying us with this information. Okay, next up, we're gonna go to Director Saskia.
Thank you. I have here the monthly cash statement for the month ended February 28th, 2026. I'm just gonna move my head closer. We began the month with $6,271,323 and ended the month with $6,075,200. So that is a net decrease in cash of $196,124. Major sources of cash for the month was $350,000 received of our outstanding STIP. So that is in relation to Prosperity Park. So finally, that is closed and wrapped up, and we've received all funds. And official report from my desk will be coming in a future ledge meeting. Major uses of cash, we paid RCMP quarterly payment for $319,724. And then we also paid out $280,622 for our AMSC annual insurance premium. So that's for insurance on all of our auto, buildings, and some of our general liability and et cetera, and equipment. And that is all I have, unless there's questions.
We'll get a motion, Councillor Lemko makes the motion to accept this financial statement as presented. Any questions?
I did your
Go ahead, Councillor Rudick.
So I just wondered if you had any insight now that you've paid the insurance for the year, which would include all of our fleet vehicles, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if you have any insight from your conversations with our insurance team at Alberta Municipalities and AMSC, whether or not the new legislation for insurance will be impacting us at all as a municipality.
That has not yet been addressed with our insurance. We do have our annual insurance meetings in the spring, so I'm expecting in the coming months to have better information on that. But as of our last insurance renewal nearly a year ago, we had no context in relation to that, so that is still to come.
If I could just ask that we keep really close tabs on that, that would be really important for us to be aware of those cost drivers.
Yes, absolutely. I can send an email now and maybe we can get into discussions and context with that sooner than later.
Okay, my question is regarding the RCMP billing.
Mm-hmm.
We're coming to the end of their year end, correct?
Correct.
So the payment we just made was for the previous quarter?
I believe that was Q3 payment. I can quickly pull it up. I don't have it in front of me right now.
Okay, so, but I know that their year end is in the spring.
March 31st.
So, I sure hope we've been keeping up with our best practices and identifying how many officers we have at this detachment every month and doing our due diligence, and we can expect that reconciliation at the end of the year and seeing that credit coming through.
Absolutely. And this one actually did have a credit applied to it as well. So we have been every quarter making sure. So that has been an ongoing discussion between myself, CAO Ling, and the staff sergeant at the RCMP. So we are very much on top of it more than what we had in the past.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? All those in favor? Carried. Okay, next up, Director Lefebvre.
Thank you, Worship. This is a request for council decision dated March 18th, 2026. The topic is development permit application, storage lot RV trailers. And travel trailers. The background is Vegreville's direct control DC district is established to accommodate developments that, due to their unique characteristics, unusual site conditions, or innovative design, require tailored regulations not available within existing land use districts. Under the DC district, full authority over all aspects of the proposed development, including land use regulations and development conditions, rests solely with council. This allows for greater flexibility and site-specific decision-making. On March 10th, 2026, Planning and Development received a change of use application along with a business license application. The applicants are proposing to convert the existing bare land into a storage lot for recreational vehicles, RVs, and travel trailers. As shown in the attached site plans, no significant changes will be made to the property, no additional approach, and the site will remain in its existing characteristic. Recommendation is that the Town Council approve the development permit application and business license application to proceed with or without conditions as determined by council.
Okay, so we've debated this a bit in our ledge and stuff. Looking for a motion for the recommendation. Councillor Curtis makes the motion. Any comments? So as everybody knows, this is not an RV park. This is storage for RVs and recreational vehicles. Okay, all those in favor? Carried. Thank you very much.
So no conditions then.
Well, we better keep it clean. That's a condition. Sorry, my laptop just went on its own someplace different. So. She's always fun. Okay, that was all in that one, right? Yeah. So next up is going to be Director Saski.
Thank you, Worship. I have here the request for council decision regarding GOV 1003 flag protocol policy. The proposal is to approve GOV 1003 flag protocol policy as presented. The policy was presented for your review at the March 3rd and March 17th Legislative Committee meetings. The following changes have been incorporated into this policy. Section 6.2 has been added stating, in the event of inclement weather or technical limitations, the town of Vegreville reserves the right to delay or adjust flag display schedule while maintaining the intent of the occasion. This is specifically for the physical limitations accessing the community flagpole locations during the winter months, where there has been heavy snowfall and limited resources to clear the snow and access these locations. The RCMP detachment has been removed from this policy. The RCMP complies with the national flag half-masting protocols and are responsible for the raising and lowering of their own flagpoles. The form, Appendix A, has been removed from this policy. Any request for the community flag raising program must be submitted to the CAO in writing, and recommendations for what should be included in the written request are outlined in Section 7.2 of this draft policy. Further, at the March 17th Legislative Committee meeting, Council discussed whether to continue the community flag raising program, recommending that Council amend the policy to only raise federal, provincial, and municipal flags. This has been the direction of multiple municipalities across Alberta, including Westlock 2024, Barhead 2024, Didsbury, which is moving their third reading on March 24th, MD of Opportunity in 2016, and County of Wetaskiwin in 2020. Other municipalities have implemented restrictions on what flags may be flown. The City of Calgary, for example, recently approved their flag policy in December 2025, stating that they will fly flags on a temporary basis to mark special and ceremonial occasions, with the exception of flags of nations. And that's their policy there, CP 2016-07, Section 5.31A. This includes flags of charitable organizations, not-for-profit organizations, and professional sports teams. Financial implications: there are no financial implications outside of the scope of the town's annual operating budget. Half-masting events occur during regular scheduled working hours. There may be future financial implications if council chooses to replace the existing community flagpoles with new models that include an internal winch system. The communication strategy is a level 1 public engagement process. This policy will be available for the public on the Town of Vegreville website. Recommendation is that Town Council approve GOV 1003 flag protocol policy as presented.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'll take a motion on the recommendation, and then we'll have a discussion. Councillor Lemko makes the motion. Okay, so let me start by saying this. Is there anything outside of this policy other than section 7, the entire section 7 that we would like to talk about? Okay, we'll start with Councillor Jagali.
Thank you. I had the question regarding section 4.2. It says that, I just paraphrased here, let me just scroll to it. It says that a community group means a not-for-profit group established under the Alberta or Canadian statute for the purpose to carry on activities benefiting the community. So my question is if previously, in the last 6 years, if administration has been asking for proof of registration under either the Societies Act or the Not-for-Profit Act on any of the applications we've received.
I have not been involved in any of these applications. In relation to community group, that would be looking for like an CRA business number for parts of that. And I do note in the memo, it was saying that we were removing the application process and following the rules as governed by, was it 7.2?
Yes, that's correct.
So that would be a follow-up question. I can follow up as to which ones that we've raised in the past. I don't have that on hand in front of me unless, no, Leslie doesn't have.
Yeah, just wishing to clarify that we're in fact ensuring that they are registered not-for-profit, especially since in section 7.2, although we've removed the application process, we still require it to be a written approval, and the policy right now does not require any of that information.
And in relation to updating this policy now, if anything gets a application to the CAO will confirm that as that's part of our definition, saying that a community group must be a not-for-profit established under the Alberta or Canadian. So if we're removing the prior application form and moving to it where the written request goes to the CAO, the due diligence should fall on the CAO to confirm that they are a community group before approval.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to confirm that we've in fact been doing that as well, just since it's listed in a separate portion of the policy. Thank you. Nope, everything else for me.
Okay, Councillor Curtis, you had something outside the number 7.
Thank you very much. I just, my understanding from reading this is that half-masting of the national flag would only happen at those 3 locations. So if we're half-masting more flags, should we not have it written?
Let's go to Leslie on this one.
I'd like to apologize for my previous statement. I have received confirmation from our facilities foreman, and it is just the 3 locations that are currently listed in the policy that are part of our half-masting actual program. The community flagpole locations, we have half-masted in the past for the conditions of passing of a mayor or an elected official. However, it is not part of our regular practice.
Thank you very much.
And that usually comes from a decision of council to go ahead with those special half-masting. The mayor and the deputy mayor have some say in that. Okay, so are we good with everything outside of, go ahead, Councillor Rajak.
Thank you, Your Worship. Before we vote on this, and I know CAO Ling is not here to provide us with any information, but do we know, Director Saskew, regarding 5.12, to consider the allocation of resources, how many requests do we get per year to fly on the community flagpole? So that would answer part of the question that the person that wrote letter number 1 tonight. And then the second part I wanted to have a further discussion with council is section 6.4, flags will be flown at half-mast for the following dates. So there's a listing of all the dates, and it really varies to what the City of Calgary and the City of Edmonton acknowledge. So I'd like to maybe set a protocol that we fly or that we half-mast our flags on similar days as the two cities, major cities.
They probably don't even recognize Declaration Day. We only fly the flag half-mast at the cemetery that day, no place else in town. They probably don't do Vimy Ridge.
They do something called National Day of Observance for COVID, so.
No, we're not gonna follow that.
No, we're not gonna do that.
Okay,
but
okay, let's start with your first one.
Okay, so,
In relation to the first question, the Pride and Treaty flags are the only ones that have been requested in the recent years. Pride hasn't been requested since 2023. There was a perpetual motion to raise the pride flag in June every year. And in relation to the Ukraine flag, I do believe that was through guidance of council. That's the other one that's been flown really in the last 2-3 years. But other than the pride and the treaty, those are the only two that we've flown recently. We've had no further requests. In relation to the second part of your question, the flags flown on half-mast from start to business, I do believe that these come from a listing on either the Government of Alberta website or the federal, one of the links that we had there. I apologize, I'm not on top of exactly where these came from. I wonder if Leslie could comment a little bit.
Yeah, so all of these dates come from the national and the provincial guidelines. The only one that is listed on this list that has not come from those guidelines is 6.4.8, October 4th, which was brought back to council during our last 2 sessions at Legislative Committee, asking if this was direction of council to continue this or honoring that date. Otherwise, every single one of these dates is honored on a provincial or a federal level.
Thank you for your response.
Okay, so you're not advocating for changing any of what we do currently?
No.
You don't want to do the COVID one?
No.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so all the other questions are cleared up regarding this policy other than section 7. I'm assuming we're all good with that? Okay, so in section 7, who wants to start us up? Okay. Okay, go ahead, Councillor Curtis.
Thank you very much. I feel like a recent proclamation has come forward for the raising of the Pride flag and Pride Week, and I just wonder where that request came from. What group requested that?
It came through to our communications department through the Vegreville Pride Committee.
Pride Committee.
That is as I understand it, yes. It came through to our communications community engagement coordinator, along with a separate proclamation. I believe there were 2 sent to council. But as per our recent conversations, as it pertains to proclamations, that's the new procedure moving forward.
So when I hear that, I feel like people in this community feel this is important to them, just as any other flag raising, any other event. As far as people questioning monetary value to raise and lower a flag, it's no different than using town services to block a road off for a hockey game or to put on a Canada Day event. It's something that people wish to do in this community. It brings people together. So saying that, I feel like the use of the community flags is good for us. I ran my campaign on inclusivity, and to say otherwise would be going back on what I've said in September. So that is my vote.
Okay, Councillor Lemko.
Thanks, Your Worship. At last Ledge meeting, I sided with Councillor Jagolic on the neutrality of this policy. Since then, I've had a lot of time to digest it, and this is all about one item. I believe one item because it's pride. When I ran, this is my 3rd term, and I always ran on welcoming, inclusive, and diverse community. And giving it a lot of thought, neutral means no. It doesn't mean we're going to stay neutral. It means we're saying neutral to make it a no. So I'm going to, personally, I think welcoming, inclusive, and diverse. If we want our community to grow, we can't cherry pick which people can live here. And I believe this itself speaks that we are welcoming, inclusive, and anybody wishing to will still have to go through council and meet the requirements of the policy. So therefore, after this comment here, you probably know where I stand.
Good. Who's next?
Go ahead, but I have another comment after.
You go ahead, Councillor.
So thank you, Your Worship. I just want to say that after doing a little bit of research with various communities, including St. Paul, where I was born and raised, I noticed that most of the communities observe the treaty lands that they are on. So I'm going to make a recommendation that we include on our fourth flag at either end of town, the east and the west, that we do acknowledge that we are on Treaty 6 lands. So I'm going
that's
to
for
make that
National
recommendation.
Truth and Reconciliation.
No, that's, National Truth and Reconciliation is only on the one day. They fly them year-round, the treaty flags, and I would like to make that recommendation that we do fly the treaty flags year-round, and that we also, if we get a request to fly a community flag, then we would either remove it for the 1 week, remove the treaty flag, or display the community flag directly underneath the treaty flag. So I just believe that we are falling short of recognizing our treaty lands.
Okay, never seen that one come, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Councillor Jagalik.
Thank you very much. I appreciate everyone's comments and perspective. I would like to be perfectly clear that I am absolutely not looking at any one group or organization that has or has not previously utilized our flag policy. I am absolutely looking at the greater picture. And I also am not trying to discourage the celebration of any group or organization within our community at all. My difficulty lies with how 7 out of 6,100 people can effectively create a list of criteria that essentially validates or invalidates a cause that is obviously very important to and a meaningful means of expression to the people involved. And so that is where I struggle. And I feel that having this type of policy in place, it's obvious that what we do for some, we must do for all. We have no idea who's going to knock on our door tomorrow morning and ask for a similar declaration in this fashion, and it could be one that rightfully so contradicts something that we had previously supported, and that's going to put us at a very tricky situation that I don't choose to be in. Also, I am incredibly proud of how diverse our community is. We are made up of incredible individuals, families, businesses, groups, and organizations that volunteer tirelessly to promote awareness and foster community in Vegreville. And of course, that's something worth celebrating. But again, when it comes down to something so deeply personal, I personally can't understand the difference between any means of what Councillor Curtis mentioned at our previous meeting, a means of personal expression, but we don't allow things like religion. If I identify as a God-fearing Catholic woman, I am not allowed to fly a Catholic flag under the community flag policy. So you can understand where the difficulty lies, and I am essentially just trying to recognize that it is largely based on interpretation. And I think that, again, a council of 7 people, it's a very, very difficult thing to quantify in terms of creating a list of criteria. And lastly, I think that we really have to look at the purpose of the policy, because if it is to promote self-expression, advertise events, any of those things, then really there should be no criteria at all, because there's no bounds on expression. And anyone who is hosting an event, they obviously feel that that's a worthy cause. And so again, there's many elements to this policy that are arguable, and I'm just trying to look at this with a different perspective. And obviously I will support whatever decision is made here today, but I feel that these are all really important things that we have to look at and look at it very objectively also. So I will leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Wawa.
Thank you, Your Worship. At our legislative meeting, I commented that I needed more time to think, and over the last few days, I've done that. I've heard back from many residents through email, text, or even just talking to them in person. It's been something that's definitely, it's been very, both sides have brought up a lot of really good points. I guess for me, how I see this and how I look at it is I can't justify us going neutrality on this, but then not going on other things. I don't think it makes sense for us to go neutral with the flagpoles on this one vote, but then on other votes not go neutral. And so I think for me, it just doesn't make sense for us to have this one off.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Rudick.
Thank you, Your Worship. I've been very consistent since I've been on council that I think one of our most important assets of this community are the people that choose to dedicate their time, energy, money, and love to upholding the reputation of the community. And it is a point of pride for me to come from a small community that is growing despite the pressures that are happening globally to take people out of rural settings and move them to large centers. I think we're doubly charged in our role as governors of our community to actually be bold and courageous. And at times that means that we set the municipal direction, which means we set a budget and we determine what's going to be our primary focus. We dedicate our resources to direct our staff to do important projects, such as Director Saskew has delineated in our fiscal statement today. And the other part is to ensure accountability to the people that elected us. I think it's very clear that we communicate with our public regularly, and they communicate with us too. Obviously, the people that have reached out to me are probably different than some of the folks that reach out to you. But our role is to set policy. I think this policy is about flag protocol. We've gotten a little bit derailed here about a specific area, and that's concerning to me. Because the other part is we are community advocates, which means that we are the ones that sit here and speak for the people that aren't sitting at our table. We've had this discussion on previous councils, and I remain steadfast that I routinely make decisions for children that are not sitting at our table, or veterans that are not sitting at our table, or business owners that may not be sitting at our table, or seniors that are not sitting at our table. Similarly, I think it's incredibly important for equity-seeking groups to be able to be represented in a very short form circumstance like raising a flag. And I don't see any concern with representing ourselves in this instance and having a deluge of other equity-seeking groups coming to us. But if they do, I'm quite certain that this group of community representatives will remember what we got elected for is to make decisions for our community looking forward 30 years. That's what we were supposed to be doing.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so if I understand this correctly, the application comes in, the CAO has a look at it, and then makes a determination if she's gonna, that person will bring it to council for approval. Is that how it's gonna work, Leslie?
Yes, that is correct, Your Worship. The CAO would go through all of the criteria as outlined in the policy, make sure that it meets all of that criteria prior to it coming to council for final approval.
And if they've been approved in the last 5 years, there's no need to bring it to council.
That is correct. The CAO would be able to approve it in that moment.
Okay, I would like to make a change to that, that it needs to be determined by each council. So we can make it a 4-year process. Is anybody against that?
To have this reviewed every 4 years, like at the beginning of our term.
Instead of the CAO just okaying, because it was previously done in the last 5 years, that every 4 years it becomes to council. So every group would have to reapply at least to a new council. Is there anybody against that? So if we pass this policy, somebody will make an amendment to represent that. Okay, the other thing that Councilor Broadjack has brought up is that we fly Treaty 6 flag full-time. Is there anybody that wants to support that? It doesn't look good for you.
So I
Oh, you do? Okay,
I just have a question.
go ahead.
So if we don't fly, what do we normally fly on that fourth flagpole? Like, what is the status quo? Because we've only said that we only receive a couple of requests per year to fly an alternate community flag. So what do we
We
fly?
have been flying the national flag of Ukraine.
Okay, so that would be another thing that I would like to discuss, because with the Gaza war, we did have a doctor here a few years ago who made a comment to some of our community that she didn't feel supported at all. She said, look what they're doing with the Ukraine flag. The community of Vegreville is going above and beyond supporting all the Ukraine people, which we should. But she said her country and her ethnic, she was very, it was a very hurtful thing that she was not recognized.
Okay, so
So I just
I
say
think we
that-
should all stop for a minute and
Yeah.
just think about who we are. We are elected into this
We are.
position to represent the views and values of those people that vote for us.
Yes.
And people vote for us based on what they feel we would support, and we share common values and stuff. I have heard so much in this community about us flying Ukrainian flag.
Yes.
And you know why? Because of the culture and the way this community is built. If we want to start flying flags, Palestinian flags,
No, that's not
okay,
what she meant.
okay, then I don't know what other group she would be representing if it wasn't Palestinian flag. She wouldn't want the Star of David, that's for sure.
No.
Okay? So, I mean, again, these are the reasons that people vote for us. They're not expecting us to be neutral. Nobody voted for any of us to make no decision. I'll guarantee you that. Not one person said, I'd love to vote for them because I know they're not going to make a decision. We make decisions based on what's best for our community. And that's why people vote for you. And if people don't like the decisions, every 4 years, they have the opportunity to say, I am had it with that decision-making son of a, and I don't want him around. But until then, this is our role. So I understand that you had a member of our community that felt unsupported. But the actual fact is, there's nothing that we can do to change what's happening there. When we flew the Ukrainian flag, it was to represent the solidarity of our community behind that.
And again, I'm not saying that I have any objection to flying the Ukrainian flag. I'm just saying we have to open it up to all groups. If we fly one national flag, we must fly any request, like any request for any national flag. So that's where I'm coming from, is that I don't have any objection to flying the Ukrainian flag at all.
Okay, well, that's a whole different thing, because you are looking to start
No.
a riot. Okay, sorry, we'll come back, Councillor Jagalik.
Respectfully, Mayor McPhee, that is the way the policy is set out right now. The criteria states that we can fly the flag of any other nation at their request. So,
At whose request?
let me see here.
Who would make that decision, Councillor Jagalik?
That's very good. Well, that's exactly the point.
You're looking at,
But
all of
that's-
us would make that decision.
Correct. And so if this individual came forward with the request to have the Palestinian flag flown for a week, how would you vote?
I'd vote no.
Okay, so I am not at all comfortable being in this position to say yes to the Ukrainian flag and no to the Palestinian flag. We have many Palestinian members in our community. And actually, my understanding of raising the Ukrainian flag was in support of, yes, like you said, the war. So are we picking sides now? Because if we're raising the flag to show solidarity that we stand with basic humanity, we should have flown the Russian flag too, because there are definitely innocent people that are experiencing human suffering because of the result of the war through no fault of their own. So again, the conversation that just took place yet again proved the point. I think it is.
No, it didn't prove anything. It proved
did.
that we make decisions. And you asked me would I fly it? If someone requested, I said no.
Yeah.
So that's a decision I made. And we all get to make them. So if it came to you and someone said, would you fly it? You would have a vote.
Absolutely.
Correct. Councillor Rudick.
I feel like this is perhaps taking us down a path that is outside of the consideration of the proposal that we have before us for this bylaw. I do feel that the Treaty 6 flag is certainly worth considering. I'm not certain that embarking on international issues is necessarily our purpose. But if it's going to be this problematic with trying to figure out what's going on the fourth flagpole or how we're going to bring it up and down, I would say that we refer back to our administration, because it's their job to determine how they're going to deliver on the decisions that we make as policy governors, that is our role to make those decisions, and administration would come back to us with a proposal about how that fourth flagpole would be working. I believe the last time this was brought before council several terms ago was the challenge with sourcing those flags. So we might, with best intentions, be considering the Treaty 6 flag, but I'm not certain that we want to be discussing other international incidents right now. I don't think that that's helpful to the discussion or material to our decision right now.
Okay. So, we can have a vote. We have a motion on this policy. Do you want to find out if council has the will to fly Treaty 6 within this existing policy, full-time?
I think it merits a discussion, yes.
Okay, well,
But that will be decided on the motion tonight if we decide to accept this.
the recommendation for the
recommendation.
policy, the way it stands today.
That's right.
Okay, is there any other comments? Go ahead, Councillor Jagalik.
Yes, thank you. I do have one more question for administration. The policy says that if the event or organization has no direct relationship with the municipality, they do not qualify for their community flag. And I'm wondering what direct relationship is defined as it is not currently in the list of definitions. So just going forward, if this is not approved, then that's something I would like to find, please.
I can probably speak to that a little bit because it does dovetail into, let's say, for instance, the proclamations. So what we were running into when it came to the proclamations is that we were getting, without much level of exaggeration, upwards of 50-something different proclamations from organizations, groups, representatives from societies all over North America. That really didn't have any local group or organization, grassroots level, located in Vegreville. And I believe that's where this comes from in terms of the flag policy, speaking to, again, that correlation to the proclamation policy. Was that there should be some sort of local representation, grassroots group, or it has already been discussed, that not-for-profit element with an entity located in Vegreville. There is a specific Vegreville tie to this request. Does that answer the question?
Yep, sure does. I just think it would be beneficial to have it defined, please.
I think we can do that. I should ask Leslie, can we do that?
Okay. Like there's some groups that send some letters like They're so against the Dalai Lama and Tibet, and they want proclamations, and they got to go to the mountain to sign it, and it's crazy. Go ahead, James. Just tell me how many things we get.
Well, I mean, it honestly could be as, and I don't want to say it's a ridiculous notion, but, the American Milk Council wants you to declare X dates as Drink a Glass of Milk Day, right? Those were the types of things that we were seeing where it was a clearly veiled marketing attempt and trying to use the municipality. So with all due respect to the local milk lovers in our community, we felt it best to ensure that there was local representation here in this community in some way, shape, or form when it came to the proclamations. And I think that that's exactly where we're seeing the kind of mirroring in the flag policy.
Okay, Councillor Lemko.
This is through you to Mr. Jameson. Sir, do they have a flag?
The milk people, they might, I'm sure they do. I can do some investigation.
So, Councillor Curtis, you made the motion for the recommendation on this policy? I did. Would you accept the amendment that it has to be every 4 years, automatically goes to council with the request, even though they've had it previous?
I can accept that amendment, yeah.
Okay, we're gonna vote on the amendment first. All those in favor?
In favor.
The definition will come later. Okay, so, right now, all those in favor of the motion for the recommendation, the amended motion. All those in favor?
I'm going to vote in favor.
Okay. Opposed? Okay. Okay.
But I'll bring that back.
You can definitely bring it back. I would drum up some support.
I will.
And get some people on your side first. But yeah, that's the way it works. Okay, next up, is who's doing this bylaw? Oh, there we go, Director LaFave, sorry.
This is bylaw number 04/2026 of the town of Vegreville in the province of Alberta for the purpose of amending land use bylaw number 11/2019 pursuant to the authority of the Municipal Government Act. Whereas the Municipal Government Act, RSA 2000, Chapter M26, and amendments thereto authorizes the council to pass bylaws for municipal purposes. Whereas the council of the town of Vegreville in the province of Alberta deem it advisable to amend land use bylaw number 11/2019 by rezoning the described land as shown in Schedule A of this bylaw, and it is attached. Now therefore, the council of the town of Vegreville duly assembled and acts as follows. 1. That bylaw number 11/2019 Schedule A Land Use District Map be amended by changing the designated lands. 1.1 Lot 3, Block 49, Plan 112-5532 from Urban Reserve District, UR, to Large Lot Residential District, R5. The effective date, this bylaw shall come into force and effect upon the date of the passing of the third and final reading, was read for a first time February 23rd, 2026.
Okay, so I'll take a motion for the second reading. Councillor Orawa makes the motion. Any discussion? Go ahead, Councillor Rudick.
Sorry, I just have a question, and this is an occasion that former Councillor Barry would have been helpful. I'm not certain because I was unable to attend the public hearing if I should be voting in this very particular governance snafu. So I might ask for guidance from our legislative clerk or coordinator.
You were here for the first reading.
I was, but I wasn't there for the public hearing, so I'm not certain if that makes a difference in my capacity to be able to vote.
Have you read the information from the public hearing?
The information that was prepared, yes.
Then it would be an informed vote, I would think.
I would think so.
Okay, I feel informed.
Okay. All those in favor? And I'd like to get a motion for the third and final reading. Counselor Lemko makes the motion. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Carried. Okay, leave that one. Next one is bylaw 05/2026. Yeah. So let's just go to the recommendation.
This is a bylaw, so it won't have an RCD with it because you're approving the bylaw.
Okay, is everybody okay with the bylaw as was explained to us and we went through in our ledge meeting and the changes that were made and why they were made? So we'll be looking for a motion for the first reading on this bylaw. Councilor Curtis makes the motion. Any comments? All those in favor? Carried. Now we'll do our due diligence. Or we're going for a second reading right now too? We're going right through this?
Yep.
We don't have to advertise this one?
We're all good.
Okay. Take a motion for a second reading. Councilor Jagalik makes the motion. All those in favor? Carried. I'll need a motion for unanimous consent. Councilor Brajak makes the motion. All those in favor? Carried. And I'll need a motion for third and final reading. Councilor Wawa makes the motion. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, next up, we have road closure bylaw.
This bylaw number 06/2026 of the town of Vegreville in the province of Alberta for the purpose of closing public travel and disposing of portions of a public highway in accordance with section 22 of the Municipal Government Act, chapter M26.1, revised statutes of Alberta 2000 as amended. Whereas the lands hereafter described are no longer required for public travel, and whereas application has been made to council to have the highway closed. And whereas the council of the town of Vegreville deems it expedient to provide for a bylaw for the purpose of closing to the public travel certain roads or portions thereof situated in the said municipality, and therefore disposing of same. And whereas notice of the intention of council to pass a bylaw has been given in accordance with section 606 of the Municipal Government Act, and whereas council was not petitioned for an opportunity to be heard by any person claiming to be prejudicially affected by the bylaw. Now therefore be it resolved that the council of the town of Vegreville in the province of Alberta does hereby close to public travel for the purpose of disposing of subject to rights of access granted by other legislation. 1. All that portion of lane plan 2183 MC south of Lot 5, Block X, Plan 87-21040, accepting thereout all mines and minerals. 2. All that portion of lane, Plan 2183, east of Lot 9, Block X, Plan 98-24899, accepting thereout all minerals and mines. This will be going for its first reading only, as there is a process to follow.
So I'll take a motion for the first reading on this bylaw. Councilor Jagalik makes the motion. Any comments? Go ahead, Director Lefebvre.
The original creation of these road right-of-ways was in 1961. We have pulled from Alberta land titles. There's information on the original plan that shows one of the lanes as, for example, 2nd Street and 0 Ave, something like that, that was registered. we have them registered with lot block plan of lane and with street and avenues. There will be an amendment coming to this by the time we get to second or third reading to change that. We're just completing the survey now. And once we have the survey, then we can go and determine, the Minister of Transportation approves this next, and the Minister of Transportation would approve it as presented. We don't know if land titles will because of the discrepancy in the information. So once we get that cleared out, so we send to land titles, it goes once and is done. That will likely be the amendment you will see to this before it gets shipped to land titles.
The legal definition of the location.
We're confirming that, as we have a little discrepancy between land titles and us, so.
Okay, so everybody's aware that there may be a bit of an amendment by the second reading. Okay, all those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to council reports, and we'll start with Councillor Brojak.
I'm not quite ready.
Okay, let's go to Councillor Rawawa. Always ready.
Thank you, Your Worship. Quite a bit has gone on since the last council meeting. On March 10th, we had our Vegreville tourism meeting. Some highlights from that meeting are there's going to be the community-wide garage sale, which is coming up on June 13th, so a little bits away still. However, it's going to be on the same weekend that the RV event is going on in Vegreville, so there'll be lots of people around, so hopefully mean it's really busy for those people who do have garage sales. Councillor Jagala can touch on this because I'm sure I got this wrong. But I have written down that the campgrounds opened on March 1st. Is that correct?
It's open for booking.
Oh, open for booking March 1st. Okay, so that's where my mistake was. So there's booking on March 1st opened up, so for campground bookings. So if you're looking to stay at our campgrounds over the summer, booking is open. And besides for that, we got an update. There's some Canada Day planning that's been done. Some of the stage and sound system, stuff like that. On March 11th, we had the RCMP Real-Time Operations Center tour. We touched on that a little bit during the Ledge meeting. It was a really, really cool tour. I think I learned a lot as to how not only our RCMP station runs, but all of Alberta. And so a lot of things I had no idea as to how it ran. And I think it's very cool that for the most part, besides for like some sheriffs and stuff like that, they are all on one system and you get an idea of of what's going on throughout all of Alberta and their RCMPs. On March 17th, I had business recognition for the 30-year anniversary of Fisher Chiropractic. So
How many years?
30 years.
30.
Yeah. What did I say? Something different?
I thought you said third.
Oh, yeah, 30.
Okay.
Yeah. For them, so I attended that. It's always great to be able to have a chance to recognize businesses. 30 years is a long time, so very thankful to have those kind of businesses in Vegreville and still running and operating here in Vegreville. March 17th, there was our Ledge Committee meeting, as well as our CEO Council meeting. And then March 18th, there was the school board, Elk Island Catholic School Board trustee meeting that we had. Again, it was good to be able to sit down, have some conversation there, and get an idea of what their plans are here for upcoming future. March 19th, I had a Vegman Learning monthly meeting. So some highlights from that one. I have first aid and CPR course, which is actually coming up this weekend. Firearm and safety course. They're now booking for a course in mid-June. It's already half full booked. So if you're looking to do that course, like I said, it's filling up fast. And besides for that, we just changed some policies. It wasn't too much from that meeting. On March 19th, we went and recognized Autumn Rose for being there for 25 years. And I haven't actually yet to be there since they did their big expansion, so it was pretty cool to we got a little bit of a tour at the end there just to see what all they've changed. So it's very, very interesting to see that. Again, congratulations to them for being around for 25 years. Later that day, we also had the spring registration. So I was there from 6 till 7, so it was a little bit quieter. During that time, however, I got to talk quite a bit with Vice Principal Tomlinson at the Elk Island Catholic about some of the some of the new programs that are coming in, is in the hockey program, and I got to have a really good conversation with her as to what's happening there. I'm hoping I actually maybe would be able to work something out to be able to help out with that and give back a little bit to the community. And then tonight we had our FCSS advisory meeting. So the couple notes from that one, the Healthy Aging Grant, they were unsuccessful on. So they're hoping to apply again next year. And then their FRN grant, they are did apply for it again, and they're waiting to hear back. They're hoping late April to get a response on that one. And then besides for that, this one there'll be more info coming up here soon on this, but this would be more for council. But they are asking everyone to attend their poverty simulation, which will be June 10th at the Social Center from 10 till 2. Still not sure how many public spots will be open, but they are first asking for council to come, so I hope everyone will be able to attend that one. And besides for that, we had our public hearing a little bit before this, and now here.
Okay, Councillor Raw, when we attended Autumn Rose 25th anniversary, it was very nice. Gordon Patty gave us a bit of a tour of their facility since the renovations. They also brought up a problem that they're seeing.
Oh, yeah, okay, sorry, I was waiting to see if you were saying more about, yeah, so they're, on the back alley there is a little bit of flooding. I actually also had that brought up to me by Vegreville Liquor Store. So there's, the way the water floods down, or goes down that road, there's, like, it's pooling up really bad, and I know it's getting into the foundation of Veg Liquor Store, at least, and apparently, from my understanding, Public Works did come do some work on there last year to help try do something with the way it was flowing down that back alley. However, since then it's back to being how it was, at least from my understanding, from what my conversation with the owner of Veg Liquor Store. And then and the one that was really bad was the Legion. I mean, it was a full-on puddle or a pool behind the Legion. So there's definitely some problems there.
Yeah, and this is through the Director Lefebvre. Basically, Director, the Autumn Rose biggest problem is, I mean, obviously the Legion has a problem. They're a lot lower than what the alley is there. I think they need to put in some sort of retention wall or do something, get something there to sort of block flow. But when they are having funerals, and they use mostly the Legion for the luncheons, and when the alley is anywhere near wet, when the people are walking across the alley, there's a lot of problems with open-toe shoes and stuff. Is there anything that we could do to help mitigate that in some way? Can we put some crushed of our cement and try to roll it down there? I know we run graders up and down there, but it's just tough for especially people with shoes that are walking across the alley. Was one of his biggest concerns, is just the amount of mud. So if you could maybe take a look. I know it's a problem. We all know it's a problem because the alley's higher than what some of the north of the alley, the foundations are. But if we could help it a little bit during a funeral when they're walking back and forth, if there's anything we can come up with there, would make a difference.
Is something else supposed to add?
Oh, you're good?
Okay, I was like,
Okay, thank you. Okay, Counselor Lemke.
Thanks, Your Worship. March 10th, I had the opportunity to meet with the Ukrainian ambassador to Canada, His Excellency Andrei Plahotnik. It was a fireside chat with MLA Jackie Armstrong-Homeniuk and many other investors that were in the room. It was from his side, it was talking to investors for the potential when the rebuild comes. And hopefully that's soon. It doesn't look like it. So it was interesting to be in the room and see the amount of people that were there under the invite of MLA Jackie Armstrong-Homeniuk to see the support that is there. And again, an ambassador to Canada from Ukraine was, and as you all know, I'm the liaison between Vegreville Council and the Vegreville area stands with Ukraine. 4 years ago, when the war happened, we needed to do something, and the council of the day chose to support the Ukrainians and the displaced ones who came to our community. And that committee still stands, still is working, and I'm very fortunate to be that committee. And I know there's people in the community that say we're supporting them too much, but the government of Canada chose at the time to allow the displaced Ukrainians to come. There's over 350,000 Ukrainians that came to Canada under the Canuit visa program. And those people, the majority of them are still here, making homes here and kids going to school here and such. So we're fortunate we have 24 families that are here and working in our community and contributing to our community. So anyway, that's my rant. The March 11th, with council and members of council, I went to the Real-Time Operations Center. On the 12th of March, I had the MD of Minburn Foundation board meeting and some administration stuff with that on the 12th in the afternoon. March 17th, I was with the Ukrainians. Vegreville stands with Ukraine again. Part of my portfolio, 3 families went to Edmonton and were able to access the Amazon warehouse for receiving stuff. And that's through the generosity of the community that the Vegreville area stands with Ukraine is helping assist in the funding of that. Most of these families in Ukraine are now, that are here, are purchasing houses in our community. And through the trip to the Amazon warehouse, they're able to get furniture, appliances, and stuff that they're able to help in their houses, which is great.
And a couple of fuses.
Yeah, lots of those. March 17th, as well, in the afternoon, I attended a ledge meeting and then the CAO meeting with council. March 18th, I, along with your worship, I attended a meeting with the Elks and some discussions around pickleball and some options that they're hoping to get council's assistance with. In the evening, we attended the Alcalá Catholic School and council board supper meeting. And thanks to Leslie for organizing that. And it was a very, typically when we go to these meetings, it's, we don't get a lot of good news because we're so far out. And one of the things that struck me was the hockey academy that's coming to that school there. That is, typically doesn't happen in a rural setting like ours, so. And then the 18th, that evening, I left the supper meeting early to go to the Cultural Association meeting and some plans ongoing around the festival. And then 19th, I had a Zoom call meeting with the Homestead Lodge's broker for our benefits. We talked about that, and our benefits are up for renewal. The 19th also, the Mainburn Foundation Human Resources Committee met. And look at 19th to the 23rd, I didn't do anything. Tonight's public hearing and the council meeting. Oh, one more thing, sorry.
Go right ahead.
My mic's still on, so I can talk. On April 6th, there's going to be a presentation. It's called Standing Free from Vegreville to Ukraine. It's an evening for Ukraine with Caitlin Kruk. Now, Caitlin Kruk is a Vegrevillian. She is a Ukrainian patriot. She is frontline, working in Ukraine with soldiers, injured people on the front line. She's featuring a film screening of Standing Free, followed by first-hand reflections on living in a country at war and the realities faced by communities across Ukraine. It's doors open at 6:30, Monday, April 6th, and admission is by donation. So you could come in, throw a toonie in the pot if you wish, or you don't have to pay anything, but just come and listen to that and find out firsthand what's going on over there. And it won't be hearsay. I'm done.
Councilor Brodziak.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'll echo a few of the same events that my fellow councillors attended. On March 11th, the RCMP RTOC, the Real-Time Operations Center. Again, that was quite the tour that we received to get a display of firsthand information how their operations work. So very up to date, and glad that we've got them to be providing for our safety. On March 17th, a business recognition 30th anniversary for Fisher Chiropractic. So congratulations, and thank you for investing in our community. On March 17th, the Legislative Committee meeting. March 17th as well, CAO Council meeting. On March 18th, I had the ACAL's board meeting, Community Association for Lasting Success. Our executive director presented a statement of operations, and also they are planning to do a strategic planning session. So glad that they're able to, they'll be able to provide some direction going forward for their organization. On March 18th, we had our town council meet with the Elk Island Catholic Board, and I will also echo my, I'm very happy to hear about the Hockey Academy, and unofficial numbers are that they already have 30 registrants. It's open to both male and female, so I think this is first for Vegreville and definitely a very welcome addition to the community. So looking forward to that. On March 19th, business recognition, the 25th anniversary for Otterbro's Funeral Home. And again, congratulations and thank you for investing in our community to Gordon Patty. On March 19th, I sat at the survey table for at the spring registration night to discuss the rec survey and to entice people to go online and complete it. I think the deadline is this coming Friday so hopefully that we get a few more people that will provide some input and provide some direction as to how they want us to proceed. And then tonight's public hearing and council meeting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Riddick, you still with us?
I sure am. I've got a few things that are the same as everybody else. March 11th, the tour of the RCMP Real-Time Operations Center was enlightening in the best possible way. Again, a real endorsement of the power of working together in terms of increasing public safety and efficacy. So I really appreciate the work that the RCMP has done to reach out to other police services like EPS or Edmonton and Calgary Police, as well as other municipal police forces. March 12th, MD Minburn Foundation Board meeting. A number of discussions there as it relates to the running of the organization and some decisions that we're making. March 12th, the VTSS board meeting. And we're in the midst of finding a new employee and just evaluating some of the operations and how we move forward in terms of utilizing drivers and office staff and how to best meet the needs of the community. As a long-time not-for-profit that originally came from FCSS, it was successfully gifted or granted out of the town department at FCSS and has run on its own for the last number of years. And so some things have changed over the years since it was first created, and just trying to make sure that we continue to be meeting the needs of the community. And we've got more transportation options available now, and really happy to say that we've got some new board members. So we're just working through some of those details and come back and let council and the rest of the community know some of the tweaks and changes that we're making. The legislative committee meeting on the 17th and the CAO council meeting, March 18th. Great to be able to meet with Elk Island Catholic School trustees and administration to be able to hear where they're at. I'm happy to hear that a couple of their projects are going to be moving forward with Alberta Infrastructure and the upcoming budget expenditures. So that's great to hear. I wasn't able to make it back within cell service to join you for the public hearing. So I'll have to strike that from my report, as that was sent in when I did have a moment of reception. I also did want to mention I was at Rural Municipalities Association conference last week with my work, and some of the resolutions were very interesting. As always, Bear Pit is always super interesting, but there were some resolutions there about the electricity distribution pricing model that was put forward by the County of Grand Prairie, and we had just received notification from the Mayor of Grand Prairie about that motion, and you've made reference to it before about the challenges of providing servicing to northern and remote areas of the province, and the inequitable distribution of utility costs. So that was some lively discussion there. And the other one I wanted to just make reference to is the Premier making reference to the loss of revenue through orphaned and abandoned oil wells, which of course doesn't affect us directly, but it indirectly does when our neighbors are having a challenge getting tax revenue from some of those operators. So there's a new report that was put out with RMA and the province, but basically Premier and some of her ministers referenced the fact that some of that revenue is just going to be lost, which is really unfortunate. There is an acknowledgement that some of these companies have been very irresponsible, and they're going to try to tighten that up, that you couldn't rename yourself and establish a new company the next day when you haven't paid your property taxes, as municipalities are still on the hook for the revenue to the province, even if they haven't received it from the taxpayer. In this case, often oil and gas companies that have renamed and reborn the next day, operating different wells, potentially under a different name. Anyways, a very interesting conversation. And the last thing I just wanted to mention is several of the questions in the Bear Pit to the Premier as well as to health ministers were about an RFP that went out last week, which I was not aware of. Request for proposal has been put out for ambulance services, and they've been asking municipalities to put in requests, or not just municipalities, but operators to put in offering for municipal and regional ambulance provision. And I just wanted to maybe look back at our decision as a council at the time to give back our ambulance service and divest our responsibility of providing that service back to the province where it belongs. And it seems like we're swinging back the other way. And I'll just remember what a challenge it was to our residents to be able to get quick access to medical emergent services through our own provision, not because we weren't great at it. We were very good at providing that service, but it really speaks to the need to have some central dispatch and some central organization. But it looks like the province is going back the way that we were several years ago. So just wanted to draw attention to those things.
Well, okay, well, I'm sure that Councillor Lemko will not be happy with that. He has sat through some of those union negotiations, and so have I, and it was probably the worst experience I've ever had in my life, ever. That's all I can say. Yeah, we divested for a good reason. They wanted property tax to go towards their wages. It was crazy. Councillor Jagalik.
Thank you very much. Going back to March 10th, I had a Chamber of Commerce board meeting. The Chamber is in search of a new manager as our existing manager is relocating. So there is now officially a job posting available. Connie certainly leaves some big and educated shoes to fill, but if you or someone you know might be a good fit, please do apply. We're going to be working on a survey coming up here quick to send out to our members so that the Chamber can find new ways to serve its members and drive local spending. So I'm looking forward to that. There's also lots of upcoming events for the Chamber of Commerce. So get your pens handy. There's the Art, Craft, and Bake Sale on March 28th. That's coming up this weekend. That's at the Social Center from 10 to 12. Their Shop Local Spring Campaign, or Bingo rather, will be held from April 1st to 30th. And then they will also be assisting to host the Alberta Global to Local Alberta Hub Forum, which is in Vegreville the beginning of next month. March 10th, I also had a tourism board meeting, so there's plenty of work going on there. Councillor Warawa mentioned a few of them. The community-wide garage sale, which is also Lemonade Day. The Alberta RVers Association coming to town. The Sunshine Club has their indoor garage sale that day as well. So I'm sure I just don't speak for myself when I say how appreciated it is that our tourism department works to partner with the other organizations and moving parts of our community so that we can maximize the capacity of our events that we host. So thank you to Michelle and Manager Brown and everyone else on the Tourism Advisory Board. Also, regarding the tourism board, one of our members, Odelia, who represents the Youth Rotary Club, she is on her humanitarian trip to Belize right now. I believe C.A. Oling is joining her, lucky her. And I've really enjoyed seeing the progress that they've made in their few days there so far. And it's wonderful to see a group of our local youth representing our community and our country and doing good work. So safe travels back home to them. March 11th, I had a library CEF committee meeting. I'll mention our dates coming up perhaps next month. Most of them are around the summer, but they too will be hosting a fundraiser the same day as the community-wide garage sale on June 13th. So March 17th, I also attended the plaque presentation celebrating 30 years in business for Fisher Chiropractic. So it's quite the achievement. Congratulations to Dan and Brenda for that. Regretfully, I couldn't attend the plaque presentation to Autumn Rose, but I also wanted to wish them a congratulations on 25 years in business. March 17th, I popped by the career fair, which is hosted by the Chamber. I just wanted to see who was there and what they were up to. So I was pleased to see a variety of businesses set up, advertising positions or the possibility of a career with their organization, as well as some of our regional schools were there as well. So that was great. There was financial institutions, regional colleges, ACO Electric, Covenant Health. So it was great to see that. March 18th, I also attended the EICS Board of Trustees, Town Council, and Administrative meeting. I was really thrilled to be a part of those important conversations that are needed to ensure a strong connection with our local school boards. I saw many familiar faces that evening, given my role previously on the parent council at one of our schools. So it was nice to connect with them and then meet the new representatives as well. One thing that was mentioned there that EICS thanked us for was our continued, I'll say, partnership with our local MCHB programming, which is our mental health capacity building program. And this isn't just in our EICS schools, it's in all 4 of our local schools. And they work to, it's an initiative by the provincial government that helps to create awareness for mental health within our schools. And I don't think that it would just be EICS. I would hope the public school as well. Perhaps we'll hear from them. They're starting to notice, they have for quite some time, the positive impact of that program. So that is great to see. What else? March 19th, the spring registration table. Mayor McPhee and I took the first shift, the most important shift, because we got a chance before the doors opened to network with all the tables set up there, which was really great. I think it's safe to say we both enjoyed ourselves there. March 19th, is that today? No. Okay. FCSS board meeting. National Volunteer Week is coming up April 19th to 25th. This week at the base, they are hosting a couple additional programs given that it's spring break. So they're having a pizza party on Thursday and a Nailed It cupcake contest on Friday, which I invited myself to because I wanted to be a judge and get to know some of the community members that utilize that space. So I'm looking forward to that. Councillor Warwa mentioned the FRN grant renewal update, and he also mentioned that unfortunately, that healthy aging grant we were not the recipients of, but hopefully next time. FCSS continues to participate in a crisis response leadership group, so I was happy to hear a little bit more about this. This is a group that continues to meet quarterly, brings together leaders to create a network of partners working to enhance our local system's ability to respond to crisis. And they do so by creating solutions and enhancing operational efficiency. So Julie today talked a lot about the positive impact from that they're finding on multiple levels. So that is great. Councillor Warwa also mentioned the Regional Poverty Simulation event coming up.
What's the date on that?
June 10th. From 10 to 2, so there will be a formal invitation coming to all of council.
Okay.
But you can certainly mark the date now if you wish. March 19th, land use bylaw, public hearing, that was today. Why do I have the 23rd? I got my days mixed up. But anyways, I was here for the public hearing and tonight's council meeting. That's it for me.
And how did you find the public hearing?
It was very engaging. It was great.
Councillor Curtis, what have you been up to?
Thank you very much. Very much similar things. RCMP RTalk tour, which I work in a control center every day, so very similar, but mine doesn't have helicopters chasing suspects down the highway, so that was different and cool. I'll just say congratulations to both Fisher Chiropractic and Autumn Rose Funeral Home on 30 and 25 years respectfully. Thank you for being in the community. March 17th, Ledge meeting, and then the CEO meeting after. March 18th, meeting with the Catholic School Board, and nice to meet or see again our trustee, Ira Borromeo, longtime resident of Vegreville, firefighter, etc. He's been around a long time. Nice to see him in that position. Rec survey at spring registration, I kind of did a split shift. I did in between the 2 shifts, so I got the best of both worlds. I got to talk to everybody, at least at our table. Usually earlier on it's got quite a few people and then it kind of dwindles down, but we had some few out-of-towners that came that, mentioned they had used Vegreville facilities, and we encouraged them to take that survey too, so that was good. On the 20th, I had a Vermilion River Watershed Alliance meeting. As you can probably guess, there's not much going on in the river currently since it's frozen solid. But a few things that they updated me on was their application for the WRRP grant, which is Watershed Resiliency and Restoration Program. So if they get that grant, they'll be using it for flood and drought resiliency planting interventions, shelter from wind and erosion, community engagement, research, and planning impact, and that'll be all along the Vermilion watershed. The other thing that we talked about, other than some member updates, which again wasn't very much because a lot of it is, there's not much going on there now, but they have a program called Sasquatch, and it is cameras positioned along the North Saskatchewan River, and they can like highlight important infrastructure pieces there if there's any dams or anything else going on. So I got to see a couple pictures, which again right now it's pretty frozen and not much going on, but I'm sure once everything kind of.
So the Sasquatch were kind of grainy in the picture.
Yeah, it was tough to see, just like any other Sasquatch video you might have seen in the past, but it's kind of cool. I think the play on words is cool for the name. So there's that, and then our next meeting I think is booked into June, so we're trying to do quarterly, as well as the state of the watershed. I talked about this last time, but they're moving on to the gather data and conduct analysis phase. So they got past their first stakeholder engagement. Now they're moving down and they have kind of a plan through to 2028. So more to come on that. And then tonight, public hearing, land use bylaw, and then our council meeting. That is what I have.
Thank you. Thank you all for what you do all the time. Myself, on the 12th, I had Mid-Size Towns Mayor's Caucus. It was a Teams meeting. Excuse me. Basically, we're working towards trying to explain to the Alberta government how our infrastructure problems in mid-sized towns is no different than large cities. And we are billions and billions of dollars short in the funding that we need. So we have ongoing meetings with the Minister of Municipal Affairs, and we are trying to push our cause along. Our membership is really growing, and we'll be having a side meeting here at the Spring Leadership Caucus for Alberta Munis as well, moving forward. Also on the 12th, John S. Batouk Water Commission meeting. And on the 13th, we had the Alberta Hub Directors meeting, just the board members themselves meeting, and talked about what's happening here next week regarding the local to global conference that we're hosting here, and a lot of things that are happening coming up in the near future. On the 17th, I met with the manager of the John S. Batouk, and I am the new chair there. So we went through a lot of stuff regarding the audit and some other things that are moving forward there. 17th was Ledge meeting. We had the CAO Council separate meeting. On the 18th, I did attend with Councilor Lemko and CAO Ling, and we met with the Elks regarding some possibilities of how they could get involved in helping with some of the facilities in town. It was just a sort of a round table about how things could work and what the needs are and stuff, so it was a very good meeting. And then on the 19th, I met up with Reeve Konechny, and we signed the National Volunteer Week proclamation. We each had one to sign, and I signed in the Reeve spot for some crazy reason. But they only needed one. They said they could photocopy the other one, so I wasn't paying attention. Also, the 19th, we were at Autumn Rose for their 25th anniversary, and I want to thank Gord, Patty, and Victoria for giving us a bit of a tour around there, and it was really nice, and congratulations to them and to Dr. Dan Fisher too. Him and Brenda on their 30th anniversary. I wasn't able to make that day, so I too attended the spring registration night, and there's no doubt about it. We did very well. We talked to all the booths there, and it was kind of funny. I thought there'd be more people that early, but I guess our people were still eating, so. Then tonight, our public hearing and our town council meeting. So, is there any other business of council? Is there anything I missed? I mean, I went back twice, but I didn't miss anything, I think. I did okay. Well, if there's no other business of council, I adjourn this meeting at 8:44.